Here we are. We're doing it. Okay, we just wrapped on the podcast, and I'm my nerves are racked. We are implementing like a whole audio change. Hopefully, you can see and hear me, because if you can't, well, that's indicative of a problem. But man, good episode this week. Post show 135. Hopefully, we were just saying, hopefully, not our last one before the new year, but I don't think it'll be. But if so, it was a fun one to go out on either way. We talk about a whole bunch of stuff. DanDaDan episode 9 and 10, three body problem. I'm up to episode 6. So we talk about the whole thing, about where I'm at, like up to episode 6. And then we also talk about the fact that it's based on a book, because some of the issues that I've had with it are, I think, they could probably be avoided in book format. So now I'm kind of curious, and I may end up reading the book. But anyway, listen to the whole conversation. Let us know what you think. Quick mention of Dragon Ball Daima. Grant goes deep on The Boy and the Heron, and then we just end up talking about Ghibli adjacent stuff for a little while. But he gives a really good review of that got me hella amped to listen to it. So I likely will, or to watch it rather. So I likely will. And then we get into some pop culture news. We do the Golden Globe nominations. We talk about some breaking MCU news and superhero news in general. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy it. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Make sure to subscribe and all that. And cheers. Enjoy.
Hey Dave,
Hey there, Grant.
how we doing?
What's up, buddy? I'm good. I'm ready. We're trying to learn. We're learning a lot. Let us know if we sound different, or if you can hear us at all.
I really hope we don't fuck this one up.
Yeah, it's fun though. Like I think we've talked about it every show, every episode since we've done video. We have made at least one change to improve the workflow, to solve technical issues. This episode is probably the biggest change we're making. There's a good argument we're biting off more than we can chew here. But we'll find out if you can hear us. And if you can't, I mean, this is really just a silent film airing on Spotify and YouTube.
Enjoy it. Yeah, there'll be timestamps, but no one will know what we're saying.
Yeah. God, yeah, how you been, man? It's been a busy couple weeks, huh?
Busy couple weeks. The winter blues are kicking in, but
Oh my god.
yeah, I've been shopping for not vitamin D lamps, but sun lamps. I'm looking at those.
Do you take vitamin D in the winter?
I think there's some in multivitamin I take, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I should be taking maybe straight vitamin D.
I take vitamin D in the winter. Grant and I, as the listeners know, we live in fucking Moscow. Or we may as well, for how cold it gets here. And this is my first winter as a homeowner shoveling. Oh my god.
Isn't it the best?
No, it sucks.
It sucks
It
so
fucking
much.
blows.
Yeah.
Like there is for sure some version of like a half glass empty, like, or half glass full Grant take, where it's like, oh, it's time to myself, and I get to, like, listen to a podcast or something like that. Because I remember telling you, like, I actually don't mind the raking and the cutting the grass and that stuff. I think my main problem currently, which will probably not be resolved until Christmas, is like my boots that have otherwise been great for many Canadian winters, which are both fashion and functional. And they have like good soles and they're relatively good quality. And again, they're a nice pair of leather boots. They're made by Thursdays. Free plug. Feel free to sponsor the show. But like, again, they're good. They've survived many Canadian winters. But you know what? They're not. They're not a shoveling boot.
No, you're not like up to your, above your ankles in snow.
No,
Yeah.
and like I have been in those boots, and it's fine, right? I've walked through busy downtown streets and all that, and the slush and the sleet and the rain and the snow and all that crap. But that is an incredibly different use case of like everyday wear versus shoveling a driveway, right? The amount of times I've nearly rolled an ankle or blown out my back, like because
that catch, you got the shovel, you got that catch.
You doing this? One of these?
Yeah.
See, the viewer can appreciate the steadying motion.
Yeah.
But that shit is terrifying. That sucks. Getting the salt mixture crap to try and... It's exhausting, dude.
It was like last winter. I don't know who I was trying to prove the point to, but I went all winter without using the snowblower. I was like, fuck it, like it's manageable. I was like, I'm gonna shovel this. We had our first snowfall. I was out there for maybe 10 minutes. I was like, fuck that. I am like going to the shed. I'm checking to make sure this thing still works. I'm not doing another winter of like just straight shoveling. It's going to be a little bit of both, but you know, I wanted to make like a parking area, like a side thing. You know, I was like fighting with the plows every year. Not anymore. It's just my driveway and that's it. But,
yeah, man. It's just exhausting. It's so exhausting. And like like we can't even. I don't even think we could fit a snow blower in that garage if the car's in there. We recently started parking the car in there,
yeah.
so now I'm doing the whole like, you know, parking in a garage with an inch of clearance because it just barely fits.
Like a glove,
right? I'm thinking about getting that's. You know what I found out? This is unbelievable. This is 2024, 2025, futuristic, dystopian level shit. Right? We have the CX-5. We've got the car. This is a car podcast now. And dude, you know what I noticed? You know what I didn't realize how absurd this was until recently. When we got the car, they gave us the auto starter on the fob.
Oh sure, yeah.
It's a subscription service.
Fuck off.
No,
really?
they gave us a couple years free, and now they're like, oh, you want to keep that shit? Like the button's still there, the hardware's in the car, but they turn it off. They can fucking yeah.
Oh, that is greasy.
I was looking into it, and
how much is that? If you don't mind my asking.
$10 a month, but
so wow, that's,
forever.
Yeah,
forever, dog. I mean, unless there's like some lifetime thing you can pay. But man, I looked into it, and the entry level like Audi A4s, they do the same thing with fucking heat warmers in your seats. What? What?
That is some dystopian stuff for sure. That's wild.
I can't believe it. And then anyway, the kind of somewhat dark joke was I was like, you know, if I auto start that car, that garage is so tight. I better open.
Yeah.
You should probably open open the front door of the garage first.
Brutal.
Anyway, so yeah, just domestic problem after domestic problem. I was bitching to you off mic about
getting that shovel you were looking at, the automated shovel there.
Yeah, no, not yet. We've got like one of those basic, you know, one of these guys for now. I can't really bitch about it either, right? Because granted, I do all the shoveling, but like Sam's the one who went and like dealt with it. This is also like a middle-aged thing. Like I'm just hating. I just don't even like stores anymore. I don't know what's wrong with me. No. I like shopping. God knows we like to spend money in this damn place, but I hate the retail environment. I don't know what it is. I think there is definitely something to like COVID made us all so not inclusive, reclusive.
Sure. Yeah.
And despite being like a social guy, there's definitely like a Bill Burr bit in here somewhere, or maybe CK, about like just being in line and being angry for no reason. You're in line, it's not moving good, and it's just like it's amazing that these people aren't eating each other because it's a nightmare, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's something about grocery shopping. Like Sam goes on her own now, and literally just does all.
Pouting into the grocery store.
No, I refuse. I can't do it. Like, and when I go, I did this for years on my own. For the record, right? I've lived alone for a very long time, but I always like route optimized. I would list my grocery list in the order in which it appears in the store. And I'm going, and I'm moving, flared elbows, knocking over elderly citizens. Like, I'm doing the whole, excuse me, anytime now. Like, I'm doing that the whole way through, right? I can do a grocery run with, like, 7 days worth of food in, like, 11 minutes.
Sure.
Right? Sam's in that place for 55 minutes, right? And if she's dawdling and I'm losing it on her, and I'm like, hey, when neither of us are having a good time, how about you do this? And I'll do all the gross stuff.
I love looping back to a department more than like 3 times.
Oh, you're out of your mind. Yeah.
It's awesome.
I was talking to people about this. Like, I love the discovering stuff and finding stuff. I'm like, yeah, I hate you. I hate this.
I am a hit every aisle kind of guy.
Oh, my God.
Even if I don't need it. I just like, it just like adds to the stroll, you know, taking your time, going through.
That doesn't shock me at all.
What's this? New flavor of Fruit Loops I'll never buy, but that's kind of cool to see it.
I can see you in my mind's eye picking something off the shelf. Oh yeah, pretty cool, huh? I can see you doing one of those. Do you go as a couple? Different with child rearing, I assume.
New routine is Sunday morning with the little one. We go.
Oh my God! You bring
first
the
thing.
Baby?
Hit it at 8 a.m.
Oh my God!
Yeah, it's actually good. It's, you know, he's engaged. I got him distracted. You know, get the groceries done. It's kind of like a win-win. But
yeah. All right. Anyway, It's a bit of a tangent, but to be fair, I
Yeah.
picked up a lot of gross jobs, right, that she doesn't want to do, so I don't want to make it sound like I'm just sending her out there into a war zone. Believe me, she prefers me not being there. It's better for both of us. But I don't know when I became this person, but it's
Home
tough.
ownership.
Home ownership, aging, slow walkers, dawdlers. I've just become this guy. Yeah, I don't know. I should talk to somebody about it. Anyway, okay, do you want to talk about anime?
Maybe, yeah, let's do that.
Anime or TV show? What do you think? Live action or animated first?
Let's do animated first. Let's talk about some DanDaDan.
You want to do DanDaDan?
Yeah.
So episodes 9 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
You had your Godzilla episode.
Yep, that was pretty sick.
It's ridiculous.
What, the Godzilla or just like
No,
the episode
everything,
as a whole?
everything.
Sure,
everything.
yeah. Wait, you didn't like? Okay,
I'm not saying I didn't like it.
okay. I really loved what they did in episode 9 with the kind of just like the layers of the water and kind of like being able to push up. Like again, they really. It's not like they tried to like follow science like super close there, but like. You know, the oxygen pockets and getting from one to the other being shot up, and I don't know, just the kind of the creativity of like using Okarun the way he moves, and she kind of like squeezes him. Very suggestive material in this episode, obviously.
Unbelievable how horny this show is, dude.
Yeah, dude. But I think that was kind of like what was sold to us right off the bat, and you know, I think we've seen enough instances. It's been tamed since, for the most part. But I think this is kind of like where it really kind of creeped up again. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. That whole fight where like it turns into like the super Nessie or whatever. I thought that was a really cool fight. The way they outsmarted the aliens.
The ending when Momo? What's the main
Momo,
girl?
yeah. Momo, yeah.
At the end, when she's so grateful that they're back on the floor, thank you for being so hard. My God. I guess it's I don't want to say that like all of a sudden I'm okay with how silly it is, but
Sure.
I do think there is a pretty distinct difference in how this show is like making sexual innuendo and comedy versus like just straight up weird undertones that you'll catch in things like Overlord or Fire Force or
Sure, yeah. Wow, yeah.
They're going at it.
Nose, yeah.
It's a completely different approach, and one of them I think is like serves the story and is like a source of comedy relief, and the other I think is just like stupid and devalues it.
Yeah, agreed. I think the big approach with DanDaDan is like there is an air of satire to it. Like it is playing
It's funny.
It is playing tongue in cheek. It is like again like that's a perfectly written joke of like, you know, again you explain it out, but you know, like it's A+ joke. You know, like they can take, you know, a well-crafted thing and kind of make it all part of it, and you know, like it's, you know, it is what it is, suggestive and, you know, horny in its own regards, but whatever. I gotta say, like kind of creeping into episode 10. I think my biggest takeaway is like, oh, how are they going to talk their way out of that? They're in high school. Like, of course, people are going to talk about that. I kind of just love they said, there's no way they're talking out of it. Like, they were just, like, weirdly honest about it. Of, like, don't ask me about it. Or, like, you know, it's, you know, kind of the way they kind of turn into, you know, Ira and Momo kind of, you know, overcoming their kind of beef and all that. But I don't know. I just thought it was, like, because you kind of end episode 9 of, like, how in the world is this going to, like, resolve itself?
Yeah.
And it kind of doesn't, because, like, there's no way to explain that. You know, they kind of just disregard it in like the most honest way possible, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was like an interesting take on that situation.
I agree. I actually almost liked episode 10 more than 9 because it was like,
oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, you know, not as much action and all that, but I have it in my notes here. It says like, you know, despite how absurdly horny this show can be, like there are some really endearing, tender moments that are like, oh God. Like just how innocent kids are and what it's like to have your first crush and all that. There's a really good moment where Momo's like berating Okarun about why were you with Ira in the first place when this whole thing started. He just said, I want you to think I'm a cool guy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, God, doesn't just so much of high school romance bullshit like boil down to that? And life, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's very innocent and it's very sweet. You know what I mean?
It's also refreshing that like they are just like talking it out. It's not turning into like 10 episodes of like, let's continue this misunderstanding. Let's like stress it out. You know, they're just honest with each other, you know, like because in the end of the day, I think the biggest advantage to like this and them as characters, you know, he is her first friend, right? You know,
Yeah.
obviously like he's starting to fall in love with her, and they, you know, they're clearly like they really like each other, but you know, you can see him battling this whole like she's my first friend, and now you know clearly they have feelings for each other. It is a good balance for him. And then her too. I think you know she's again also really well written character. You can see she sees that as well.
Yeah.
You know she's really starting to get to know him. And then he has these moments like, oh, you know, I want to be cool. You know, like I don't know. It's such a good show, dude. Like I know you know we were talking last time, but you know everyone's like, oh, episode 7 or it was episode 7 is like the highlight of the series, and you know I think episode 8 and 9 got a little review bombed recently. Which is just the internet's so childish.
Oh,
but
right.
like,
So yeah.
you know, but it's like I did like episode 7, and you know I ended up rewatching it, and it's like, but this is like episode 10 is like this is why I watched the show.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't need to see the Tanjiro back stuff. You know, it's cool that Ira has like you know Acro Silky's abilities and all that, and you know they're kind of paired, but I just want to see them all interact with one another. And Ira's also you know she's growing on me as well. So
same, because there was a moment I think you might have been the one to say it of like. I really want to see where the relationship goes between the first two main characters. I don't know if we really need a third.
Yeah, and now we got our fourth.
Yeah, because then we got, you know, because we also had the, you know, we got Turbo Granny in the little cat's body, and we've got the hot grandma and all this stuff, and I didn't know if we needed a third main character, but in episode 10, they kind of sold me. I was like, yeah, okay, the dynamics at play here are kind of fun. Her, like, shtick is, like... Because, you know, if she was, like, immovable and just that character in stasis, maybe I wouldn't be down, but, like, getting the powers, and also, she also matures in her own way in episode 10, and again, it just makes it feel much more human and less, like you said, like, animeism, like, a lot of lesser stories would stretch the misunderstanding, how long can we make this last, right?
Got a full 24 episodes out of it, and then, you know, we'll see you season 2, you know?
Yeah. Who's the guy that stars in Californication?
David Duchovny?
David Duchovny. Yeah. In Californication, he has a line when he's writing for television, and he hates writing for television. He goes, listen, guys, I know I'm the new guy on the block for writing for TV, but isn't the idea to make people want them to kiss, but never actually make them kiss until episode, like, 38? And you're like, I mean, unfortunately, yes. Like that is how most episodic television does it, is like you get the audience like begging for it, and at a certain point like it becomes
2 seasons of Jim and Pam ogling each other, you know, like it's
though in that one, I mean, fuck, how long did it take? It was actually very long, wasn't it?
It was season 3. At the end of season 3 it was like they were kind of a thing, and then like I think season 4 was like, aha, we're a couple, like, you know, no one knew it.
Yeah,
we knew it.
Really great on screen romance between those two, but that took a long time.
Has aged not well in recent rewatches, I gotta say.
I think their chemistry remains good.
Yes, their chemistry, but
how the pacing, I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
I think Jim and Pam as characters too. I'm just like, oh wow, like if I knew someone I worked in an office space with like those 2 people, I'd be like really annoyed and like, you guys not. Sure. But well, did you see the news about DanDaDan? The kind of like the worst kept secret is we're getting a season 2 this summer.
Oh, really? So, so are we only getting 12 episodes of this then?
I believe so, yeah. Because Jump Festa is on the 21st this month. So there's a ton of announcements. They've kind of teed up. You know, there's gonna be some Dragon Ball stuff. They've said DanDaDan. They've also mentioned Chainsaw Man, the Reese movie, is going to be. I don't know. Maybe we'll get another trailer. That'd be cool. Maybe an announcement.
I'd love a release date.
I think that's this year would be, and then also I think it got leaked too that Jujutsu Kaisen's this summer as well.
Yeah, we should talk on mic, off mic. But you just remind me. When is that Jump Fest thing? Is it the 21st of December?
21st, yeah.
Yeah, so you and I are gonna have to figure out if we record before or after Christmas, or if otherwise this might be our last one for a little while.
We will see you guys in the new year. No.
Yeah. Well, you never know. We'll figure it out. It'd be fun if we could sneak one in to cover all the news out of Jump Fest.
Yeah.
Because like Grant mentioned, like there's Jujutsu news, Dragon Ball news, Chainsaw news, DanDaDan. Like there's a bunch of stuff.
One Piece stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's supposed to be. And I'm gonna be irritated if the news are like, yes, there will be a season 3. It's like, okay, give me dates, give me runtime, give me like details. I saw one being like, breaking news, Demon Slayer movie will be in 2025. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then officially announced a couple days ago.
So yeah, give me some shit. You know what I mean?
There was some cool news out of that actually.
Demon Slayer.
Well, the movie specifically because believe me, it's connected. But One Piece is currently on. They're taking a pretty significant break until March of next year, and it's announced that there's a significant number of One Piece animators working on Infinity Castle. So it's oh, okay. Are they taking a break because they're trying to pace out One Piece, or are they being pulled off that to work on this movie, get that out the door? But
I'm still irritated about that.
Well, it's coming sooner. The first part's coming sooner than later. So if but again, who knows if we're getting it day and date, Japan. Was it almost 2 years we waited for Mugen Train?
It wasn't that bad, but it was bad.
It was close to it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, DanDaDan, good show.
Maybe I'll be in Japan when it comes out, dude, and I'll see
that's true.
At a theater, and I'll have to hold on to that and tell you nothing.
That would rob me to my core.
That would be tough.
That's funny.
Oh God, we'll see. I am one episode behind, and I tried to sneak it in last night late, and I fell asleep. I'm one episode behind Shangri-La Frontier Season 2.
Oh wow, you're ahead of me now.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I'm still. Yeah, I'm behind. Like I told you off mic there. It's been a really slow 2 weeks. I've not been watching much. Been reading a lot. Just kind of need switch it up. I'm watching so much anime.
Yeah,
it's kind of the point of the show here. But I feel like
not really.
Too much seasonal anime, and it's good just to take a break. DanDaDan, I think, is my consistent week to week. That and Orb actually. I
haven't missed DanDaDan at all, and I haven't watched Orb yet, though.
Bleach. Sorry, I've been watching Bleach.
Oh yeah, of course. Vivian put together a cool reel of your talk on DanDaDan and the
Orb
footage. No, on Orb. Sorry, Orb of the Movements of the Earth, and the footage on top, I assume, which was from a trailer or the pilot, looked pretty good. I was like, okay, yeah.
Actually, there's quite a few span of episodes. I think she must have pulled stuff from the episodes I was talking to.
It was very good.
Yeah. Really good show.
You mentioned reading, so I don't know. I don't really know if there's much to say on Shangri-La Frontier if you're not caught up. I think we can just skip over that.
Sure.
But what I will mention is Three Body Problem. We're only 2 episodes done. 2 episodes left, rather.
Oh wow! Okay.
So we're on Three Body Problem, episode 6. Yeah, that makes sense. And so things have officially popped off. So here's your brief spoiler warning for the audience. Grant has seen it, and we know it's based off of books. The big moment, I think, or one of the biggest moments, is probably in episode 5. It is the Sophon reveal.
Okay.
That's when you get the lore dump of
big lore dump.
Yeah, the Santi, which is the alien race, which is on their way, and how they've been communicating with Earth, and how they've been using their alien technology to spy on the planet, and why they're trying to cripple modern science and all this. It's actually very satisfying. Yeah. Lore dump, and then they kind of show the eye in the sky thing, and they do the whole. It was very cool. That was a really, really high point.
You've seen the boat scene, right?
The boat scene. Is it in the VR game?
Have you seen the Sophon's base of operations yet?
No, I don't think so.
Really? That far in?
Base of operation. I see them create a Sophon in space while they're monologuing it. I think they talk about how you can shrink it down to the size of a proton.
Has the nanowire stuff taken place?
Oh yes, sorry. Yes.
Sorry. I was man, I'm pretty sure that was earlier.
The boat scene is fantastic.
Isn't that terrifying?
Yeah. So
they didn't show kids die, but they killed some kids.
Yeah, for sure. So yes, they use Augie's nanofiber technology to let a boat drive through a canal, and they've got nano wires strung across it, and it just cuts everything in its path, including the boat and the everybody on board. And the CG was really, really good. Really cool effects. Really cool. I'm sure lots of cool practical effects, bodies exploding and shit like that.
Just the little stuff of watching steam now, coming out of a vent because the vent's been cut or the pipe's been cut. And,
attention to detail.
Little stuff, stuff that's like a silly, not a silly trick, but like a very simple practical thing in a movie, but it's like it really kind of sends home like what's going on.
Yeah, it's
really
what
smart.
these VFX artists, like these experts, always talk about. It's just that every little bit increases that sense of immersion, right? The more you can add little things like that, like the vents, the steam coming out of things, it all really, really helps. The sound the blood makes when it hits the ground. Someone has to do that, right? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
You don't hit an emulator on your computer and it does, like you have to think of all these things. And that was a really good. That was a really, really good scene. Jonathan Pryce, so fantastic. Both in Game of Thrones and in this. I really enjoyed his part on the show. Augie, okay, this is what I wanted to talk to you about though. I had a bit of a dip in episode 6. Like it's a good episode.
Sure.
We're really starting like humanity's response to this lore dump, and you know there's looting and mass hysteria as you would expect there would be.
Yeah.
But I found myself in more than one moment. In particular, a lot of the stuff that is it Thomas Wade? I think Davos, Davos's character.
Okay. Yeah.
Who it has yet to be revealed what governing body he works for, or like they like keep alluding to it. He's like, oh, if you knew who I worked for, or you're gonna work for me.
They don't really kind of ever touch that. No.
So that doesn't work for me at all. Because I think I'm really losing my sense of like my suspense of disbelief when I watch it, because it's like, is this how it would happen? You know, him and Dr. Chung just in a room and her saying, just give me trillions of dollars for nukes, and there's all these people saying, oh, that'll never work. But it's like, who are these people? What panel is this? Is it a UN?
Oh, you mean like the new group he kind of puts together?
Yeah. Like,
oh, okay. Gotcha.
And who's he? For the like, why do we care
Sure.
about what he says? Like, none of it. Yeah, I don't know. I just lose that a little bit. And it's funny because, you know what I keep thinking when I have these issues with the show of like, does that make sense? Like, is this... My thought is like, fuck, this would be a better book. Like, if they had more time... Because I don't want to guarantee it because I haven't read the book,
Sure.
but I just feel like a lot of the problems that I have with the show are that they're probably worried about runtime, and they probably can't afford to be like, hey, let's spend 45 minutes on explaining like how there's going to be governmental cooperation internationally, how we're going to assemble a team of panelists and this and that. Like I remember you mentioned they've smashed a lot of characters together.
I think the biggest thing to immediately answer your question is like the book is like almost is like so far where I'm at. I did put a bit of a pause on it, but like it's like 80% set in China.
Oh wow!
And I think like there's some Europe. I think it's like Sweden more. Like I don't think the UK even has a presence. Like, again, where I'm at, but it's like it's mainly China. So I think there's like a lot of that like governmental stuff.
Is Augie in the book?
No, I don't think any of them are.
She doesn't feel like a real character, and I'm not trying to be like a dick about it, but it does feel like
her
a bit
like
of a...
her like open angerness is from my understanding the only guy, and I don't think I've met him yet. I think he has a different name in the book, but it's the first physicist we meet where his boss like jumps into the reactor.
Oh yeah,
the panel. I'm blanking on his
Vera
name.
Wang jumps into the reactor. She's
Yeah,
the
not
daughter of the girl who.
But the guy that was working in like the room, like that she kind of talks to, the guy with the glasses.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, so like Saul. Yes, I think Saul's technically the only one who's not like an amalgamation. He is in the book at some point, but I believe he's like at the end. You know, like he's not even in the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, dude. Like really, really good. You know, for what it is, and like from what I've read to like what they kind of made. Like yeah, the outrage that Augie has. Like, but like at the end of the day, like it kind of makes sense too.
It
like,
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say.
But she does feel there's a lot of forced anger, I find.
And she feels a little made for TV in that it's like, hey, here's this unbelievably gorgeous scientist who, of course, is hotter than all the other scientists, but also smarter than all of them. And let's just find reasons to put her in her underwear throughout the show. And like, her character in general doesn't work a whole lot for me. I will tell you though, like everything to do with the Sun Tea. Has landed, relatively speaking. Like, how would an alien life form look at us? You know, I think like you have to get pretty creative storytelling wise to come up with the idea of sophons and They're talking about how do we distract them. Let's get the Hadron Colliders running 24/7. Let's put one on the moon. This is like fun. This is fun sci-fi shit.
It's very good sci-fi stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. So, if anything, ironically, I was like, yo, when I'm done with this, I think I'm going to finally check out Silo on Apple TV. Everybody talks about how damn good that show is. And now I kind of want to go on a bit of a sci-fi kick because I've been off this stuff for so long.
I was in the bookstore the other day, and like at Kohl's, they have like Heather's Picks or whatever.
Yeah.
And I noticed like the Silo series had that. I was like, oh shoot, okay. So I guess like this is
That's
not
based
just
off
like
a book too.
It is, a three book series. But so it's like, oh dang, like man, so much to watch, so much to do. But,
I know.
I don't know. I'm really digging. I'm super excited for more Three Body Problem. But I've been thinking back to the scene where Jonathan Pryce is like talking to the Santee. It's like right like his last communication with them, and like they kind of put together that like oh you lie,
the nature of humanity,
and we can't trust you, and like they immediately cut him off. And I thought that was like his desperation of like trying to get them back. I was like oh yeah. And then all the stuff in the nanowire. I'm like that's brutal
that was
stuff.
really good. He's great in it. I really like the actor that plays the founder of the organization whose name I'm blanking on right now. The Asian lady who...
Vera Wang's mom.
Vera Wang's mom, so Dr. Wang probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know how she initially contacted them, and her reasoning of just like humanity's broken. Like
her hate,
And then this realization slowly that once she realizes that, the Santee have kind of betrayed them anyway, it's all very interesting. So there's a lot of like creative stuff happening here. There's just a couple of nitpicks, and every time I have them, I think of you, and I'm like, I bet this would be better in a book. Like, sometimes it would solve not all the issues that I have with it, but I'm also I'm coming off a bit of a low point with season 6 because a lot of these issues, or episode 6, because a lot of these issues I had were in that episode.
Sure.
But maybe they're just trying to. You never know what they're up against in a production schedule wise. I've got 2 big episodes left, and I presume.
I have to say, I found episodes 7 and 8 to be like very significant, very big, and probably like some of the more satisfying episodes of the season. So.
They've been building, right? What's his face? What's his name? I can't remember. I don't have it here. It's Samuel Tarley's death was good.
Oh yeah. Just the glass just shattering. You can like you're seeing the footage of like her not there. Yeah.
Will, the guy Will, the sick guy, really not clear where his story rather is going.
Don't wait until you were that wraps up.
He at the end of episode 6, he goes to this place and says he wants to buy a star.
Like to help fund the war effort. Essentially.
Yeah, because he inherited all of Tarley's money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crisp Empire, which I thought was so funny. That's such a good detail. That's the thing; it's a creative character, right? So like that was the people that wrote this, like D&D, like you can. It's so funny how like this is like not even remotely in scope or tone to Game of Thrones, but like I'm still feeling some of the stuff that I loved from Game of Thrones. It's like oh man, like they really did have a presence and a touch on that show more than we ever maybe thought, So yeah, I don't know. Three Body Problem, some good shit.
I'm enjoying it, and it has like reawakened like a sci-fi craving in me that now I think I have to go down.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, quickly anime side quest because I know you still haven't watched it.
Okay,
dude, I gotta say, DragonBall Daima.
Yeah,
I think around episode 8 or 9, probably 8.
Yeah, 9 makes sense too, though.
I'm on 9. I think I just watched 9, but I can't remember which one was better. But anyway, the point is episode 8 is the best episode of the series they've done so far, which is not saying a lot. It's only 8 episodes. But people were saying, like, this is one of the best episodes of Dragon Ball, like, period. It was so good.
You're saying that too?
I put out a TikTok. You can find us on TikTok at Part-Time Otaku Podcast and on Instagram about it. And I think one thing that helps, and again, it is early days, but the animation quality has not dipped. And every Dragon Ball series has had animation quality issues, like consistency, I'll say, right? Sure. They have a very hard time keeping like a high bar. And they just didn't pull any of their old bullshit of like dragging out a fight. They got right to business. It was like no reused frames. It was very unique choreography. There was a fight in the episode that was a pivotal, important fight. It was just fun. Yeah, I don't know. It's really filling the like Saturday morning cartoon genre that we've talked about.
Yeah. That
And
feeling.
but yeah, they like really did achieve like a high point in my mind. I don't know how many episodes this series is billed for, but I've been really enjoying it.
Are you at a point where you feel like, oh, like they're clearly like working up to something, or is it still kind of like not meandering, but like do you kind of feel like they're just kind of plodding along and just like is there kind of just like a little adventure stuff, or is there like a big story kind of a grand story like leading up to?
I'm starting to see where the biggest obstacles may come from. The story is this is what I kind of alluded to in like the thing I put out. I mean, the story is kind of the same as Dragon Ball GT, right? They've been turned into kids. They got to get their bodies back. So it's like I don't love that, but the adventures in order to do it have so far been very different. The characters they've introduced have been pretty creative, and I've been enjoying the chemistry and all that. But yeah, I'm starting to see like the show is probably going to go in these few directions. I imagine these characters will be important. I imagine these are the plot lines that are going to unfold, and I'm happy with all of the with what I think I see coming. All that could change, you know what I mean? Like, there've been a lot of rug pulls in the Dragon Ball history where they just take a left turn or the animation quality falls off a cliff,
Sure.
or whatever else. But yeah, if you want more Dragon Ball content in your life, I recommend it.
Maybe I'll check it out. We'll see.
Maybe you will, dude. We'll see. What you got? You got anything?
I got one more thing. Leanna and I checked out Studio Ghibli's The Boy and the Heron.
Oh shit, you were saying that.
Yeah, man. Awesome.
Say
awesome,
more.
Awesome,
yeah,
awesome.
tell me things.
So, like I remember when, because it took a while for it to kind of make its way over here, and even then, like you couldn't it completely. You couldn't get rented. Like there was no VOD for it. It was just like when it lands here, it lands here. So it eventually came, I think it showed up on Netflix in October at some point, and we finally pulled the trigger. Okay, like let's go for it. And that's the thing with a Ghibli movie. Like you kind of like never know. Like there's some recurring themes that he loves doing. Like like the screw, like capitalism kills everything. War ruins everything. But like the there's the recurring themes of like motherhood and being raised by a mother and the loss of family. The Boy and the Heron found a way to like fit all of it in. Maybe like less of like the capitalism and war stuff, or a little bit of the war stuff, because it's kind of set during World War II. Like the main character is relocated to a different part of Japan, just to avoid like a less like war torn version of it in World War II.
Does it feel? I just want to make sure I'm not getting the wrong impression. Does it feel like a greatest hits kind of story?
No,
okay.
It doesn't.
Okay.
If anything, it's the closest thing to Spirited Away he's made since Spirited Away. It like
when you say that, you mean story wise or quality wise?
I gotta say it's probably my favorite movie of his in a long time. More akin to Spirited Away. And you've in quality. I think I've seen just about all of them.
I was gonna say you've seen like the whole catalog, right? I have not seen a lot.
Not quite. There's still like a couple major ones actually, like Mononoke I haven't seen, and The Wind Rises I also haven't seen. But yeah, like just like it's just one of those things where it plays with time. Like again, like it feels very surreal and like going to another world. Like it honestly, like I'm not going to say it's like a ripoff of Pan's Labyrinth, but it reminded me so much of Pan's Labyrinth of. Here is all the stuff happening in the real world. Let's go through like this imaginary door to a fictional place where time and space is like not what you think it is, and it's playing around with realms and
who directed Pan's Labyrinth?
That's Guillermo del Toro.
Thought so, yeah.
And it's more akin to that, but like the weirdness of like his movies are quotations weird, but it's like there's kind of like a loving, nurturing tone to everything. This feels very like. Hard and like you have to fend for yourself and there's guiding characters along the way, but like I said, a lot of the recurring themes. But Dave, you have to watch this movie. Like it's just what they do with the imagery and like switching art styles. Like I've never seen such a hard, like a bold art style change in any of his movies. Like it goes at one point. There's like a recurring theme in the movie of like a nightmare for the main character. of like kind of in relation to like the fires in Tokyo. I don't like they weren't affected directly by like the bombs drop or the nuclear bombs dropping, but there's like a lot of like the burning of various cities like Nagasaki and stuff like that. So there's this theme of like nightmares and fire, and it goes to like this hand painted like almost like charcoal brush art style. Various times through the movie, and it's just black and red and a little bit of orange tinge thrown in there.
It's crazy.
And it's so like, whoa, like, you know, this is such a vivid, like, it feels like a very real vivid nightmare, you know, and when it transitions to those scenes, it's really, really cool.
It's still crazy. Like, we talked about Grave of the Fireflies a long time ago, and just the amount of stuff that you still see to this day that is like so firmly like etched in just the cultural memory in Japan of pre and post World War II, and how much it had impacted their art and how much it impacted their culture. Is so fucking wild. Yeah,
and you feel in this one like almost like it's very much in that tone of
war torn Japan.
Yeah, but like it does outside of like those like nightmare scenes, like it does a really good job of like you're not like whipping back to like war torn of the country.
Right.
Like it's
like PTSD. It sounds like
you can feel the characters feeling those feelings, and you know, having those emotions, but it's not like cutting away and like, you know, showing it that way. Other than like, you know, like this, like I said, this charcoal brushing.
Right.
But the other thing I really liked about this movie in particular, and it's not like I have an issue with Ghibli movies this way, but you kind of like. Not that you know where the story is going, but like you kind of feel the beats, like the motion of like, oh, they're clearly gonna, you know, this person's gonna betray us, or like, you know, there's gonna be a fight between these two. This whole movie, it's like, oh, where are we going? It genuinely felt like a mystery every time. Like they would say, it was the classic case of what you and I love, like show don't tell. They would say like, oh, who is this? And like there's just a reference like, oh, who this person is, but they don't explain it. And like there's moments where Leanne and I were looking at each other. It's like, did she just say that? Did they say who that is? And like, again, they don't explicitly continue it. And then like as the story progresses, it kind of fills in more details for you. And like, I know it sounds like so obvious.
You're pitching
but, like,
this pretty well, though,
dude. It's really really good.
And do they still have that deal with where all the Ghibli movies are on Netflix?
I think majority of them are on Disney. This one is on Netflix though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I can still watch it.
100%. Yeah.
Oh, did I tell you I snagged a Cyber Monday or something deal?
No.
Anyway, I got a new soundbar.
Oh,
and a sub. Yeah, so I got a sub. Oh, I've been cranking that thing. The soundtracks for these movies are always quite nice as well.
Great soundtrack. And also, like, you know, one of the more notable characters in the movie is the Heron itself, who is just a, like, terrifying, creepy amalgamation of animation. You know, it's in all the dude, they found a way to, like, have this Heron have teeth. And they explain, like, it's shown why it has teeth.
Don't tell me.
But, like, so Robert Pattinson is the voice in the English dub.
Did you listen to English? Or?
No, we listened. We watched the Japanese, and I was like halfway through, and you get to like know this character, and I'm like, I have to watch the dub now because I need to know. It's the first time where you watch, and you see this character, like I need to know what they do with this. You know, it's not like Christian Bale or how like. It's,
isn't Bale in it too as someone else?
Yeah, he's the dad character.
They get big names.
Second Ghibli movie's done, yeah.
Yeah, they get big names in those movies.
Well, it's like everyone wants to be attached to it, right? Like it's
Man, I went on some I'll have to look it up and tell you later. But I went on a tear of finding and downloading a bunch of like old classic movies that I hadn't managed to see in a long time. Have you seen a lot of these Akira Kurosawa movies?
Like I've seen Seven Samurai.
Yeah, Ran, Seven Samurai.
Ran, yeah, I've seen Ran. I've seen parts of Ran actually.
Yeah. Anyway, so I went and I got a bunch of those, and then there's one. I think Tarantino. I saw this long thing. Tarantino says like is one of his favorite movies of all time, or one of his favorite moments of cinema in all time, and it's a Bong Joon-ho movie. Is it
Memories of
a Murder?
So good, dude. That's an all-time for me.
Of course, you've seen it. Yeah. So I got that one queued up as well. And anyway, I'm excited. God, I gotta get through. Gotta find time. Cut to where I can't even remember if it was on or off mic. We're just bitching about how I just have no time. I just need to make time for all these things. Okay, so anyway, it sounds like you were very, very happy with The Boy and the Heron.
it awoke kind of like a hunger of like, holy cow, I need to like maybe watch 3 or 4 Ghibli movies like
Really,
over the
eh?
Christmas break. Yeah, it's really good. I'm gonna be rewatching it like definitely 100% over Christmas. Definitely not a cringe movie. Was like borderline like horror, body horror at points.
Okay.
But so like probably like the least family friendly of his stuff. But
Oh, really?
I would think so. Like it's family friendly till it's not, and it's like 30 seconds of like, oh wow, like her skin turning into frogs, or is that like, or was that frogs like climbing on her? You know, like it's like, as an example, like as a case point. I don't know. I was completely sucked into it. I was like, this. I love it. I love the power of animation.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because we watch so much anime, and like not to compare, and like you want like this is the art of animation. Like
Yeah.
like he is a like a master of it, and the people that work for him. And not saying like the stuff that we watch isn't, but I think they're trying to deliver 2 different types of things.
Yeah.
And you just watch something like this, you're like. We I think we're lucky to get another one of these from him. And I know he said he's officially out of retirement again. We're probably going to get maybe another one.
Be
But
nice.
like if this is his last one, I think it's a really strong one.
If he goes out on this one, you feel like he goes out strong?
It's in my top. It's in my top 3 of his movies for sure.
That's very good to hear then.
After one watch, I feel that strongly, but I really dug it.
Damn, dude. All right. Man, I'm glad you reviewed that. Now I need to watch it. Maybe I'll try and prioritize that one because it's out. There's no, you know what I mean? It's like it's out. I can watch it just right now.
Netflix just sitting there waiting for you. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The only stuff I got is a little bit of news. Golden Globes nominations are out.
Oh shit! I didn't see that.
I got it in front of me if you're curious.
Yeah. Any snubs?
We don't have to. I don't know if you want to go through every single one. Here, how about we do a couple of the big categories?
Yeah. Yeah.
Motion picture, best motion picture drama.
Okay.
The Brutalist, A24.
Can't wait to see that.
A Complete Unknown. I think that's the Bob Dylan, Timothée Chalamet thing. Shyamalan Ding Dong. Conclave? I don't even know what it is.
Yeah. That's the papal choosing the new pope movie with Ralph Fiennes.
Yep.
Apparently quite good.
Okay. Dune Part 2. Nickel Boys.
Also supposed to be really good. Yeah.
And September 5.
That is like, you ever seen Munich?
Yep.
Same, like it's those events, but it was, I think the movie's based around like sports reporters
Okay.
who were based in like reporting on it, or kind of like I think they were in Germany covering it, but supposed to be quite good. Peter Sarsgaard, unreal, love him.
Skarsgård family, man, those kids don't miss.
No relation. Funny enough, no relation.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Best motion picture comedy or musical.
Mm-hmm.
Anora.
Anna, they're saying that's going to win Best Picture.
Challengers.
The Oscars. Ooh, I want to say that.
Yeah, the Oscar noms are not out yet, right?
No, not for a while yet.
Amelia Perez, Netflix movie. A Real Pain.
That's the Jesse Eisenberg one. Kieran Culkin.
What is that about?
2 brothers go on a trip of Poland. Like I think their grandmother was a Holocaust survivor, and I think they're going around Poland seeing like the various facilities and whatnot. It's like a history tour.
Does Eisenberg direct?
Yep.
Good for him.
Yeah, it's the second movie. Yeah.
Did his first do well?
Yeah, I think so. It was pretty good. I can't. I'm blanking on the name, but I think it was reviewed really well.
The Substance.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
And Wicked.
Oh yeah.
Which is currently
seeing that next week. Actually.
Well, I should actually mention we should do animated. Give the podcast. Best motion picture animated. Flow.
Ooh, I don't know that one.
Inside Out.
Okay.
Memoir of a Snail.
I don't know that one either.
Moana 2.
Oh. It's gangbusters this weekend. Do you see that?
I know, I did. It's funny. I hear critics hate it, and it's crushing everything in its path, box office wise.
Yeah, dude. I was because Disney.
Okay, critics hate it might be an overstatement. I've heard
some
lukewarm takes.
Oh, okay. I saw Disney revealed like what the #1 most streamed like movie or on their platform. It's like Moana. The first Moana. It's like 500 million hours. Something like that, like in like a 2-year span, or 2 or 3 year span, something like that. I'm not going to have the exact number, but it's like an insane viewing hour.
quick side tangent. I feel like it's kind of similar to the Spotify Wrapped experience in that,
Oh,
like,
sure.
I put up because I know everybody cares deeply about my Spotify Wrapped.
Shout out to Latvia.
Latvia. Oh yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
in our-
Shout out Latvia for listening. For listening. Yeah, we haven't even said thank you, but thanks
Thank you,
for listening.
everybody.
I'm talking about my personal listening.
Okay, all right.
I didn't even think about the podcast. We haven't said thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, everybody.
The show has grown this year. It grows every year. We're very excited about that. And like, look at us. We're making moves. We're on video. We're going to be releasing clips, and we're syncing audio independently. God willing, if we don't fuck this up on the edit.
Yeah.
But no, okay, so the point I was going to make was I put out my Spotify Wrapped, and I was like, God damn, I listen to a lot of music. And I said, come at me in the DMs if you have more time listened. And everybody who did was a parent. And they're all like, oh, I use it for lullabies. I use it for this. My sister was like, oh, I leave music on for the dog when I'm at work. And I'm like, okay, so none of you are true appreciators of the art form like me.
Sure.
You're all cheating. But then it made me think of you and your firstborn and Frozen, right?
Yeah, a lot of
I
hours.
feel like Moana and there's probably a lot of habitual viewing of a lot of stuff.
Yes.
That is now tracked via streaming service analytics of I just don't think Moana is that good. Now, granted, I've never seen it because I hate The Rock, but yeah.
You know how I feel about him, and Moana slaps. That's a good movie.
I know I'm playing.
Coco's better, for anyone asking. Coco's better.
I watched Encanto last year. I don't know.
Encanto's good.
Hey, give me a
good
break.
soundtrack.
I did my best.
That Bruno song slaps.
Yeah, Bruno. Yeah, it is. Okay, last two in animated category: Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul,
Fuck yeah, dude.
and The Wild Robot.
Also supposed to be pretty good.
And I think this might be is this the first or second year of the new category, Cinematics and Box Office Achievement, which is basically box office crushers that the critics don't like.
Wicked. Yeah.
Wicked is in there. That's
Yeah.
funny. But they're also in Best Musical, so what do you want? Alien Romulus, Beetlejuice, Deadpool Wolverine, Gladiator 2, Inside Out 2, Twisters, Wicked, Wild Robot.
And
So
that's
yeah, a
for
lot of
that's for the box office one?
box office, cinematic and box office achievement. And then maybe I'll just do best performance for male and female in a drama. Okay,
Let's do it.
actors comedic actors take a beat. Female actor, drama, motion picture.
Mikey Madison.
No, Pamela
Oh,
Anderson, The Last Showgirl.
Okay.
Angelina Jolie, Maria. Nicole Kidman, Baby Girl. Have you seen the trailers for this fucking movie, Grant?
No.
Oh my god. It is. We think DanDaDan is horny. This, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. CEO power movie.
Oh my god. Grant, it's 50 Shades of Grey, but like it might I might be more interested in seeing it than I don't know what it says about me, but it's interesting.
Baby Girl Pod? Let's do it.
Yeah. Nicole Kidman, Tilda Swinton, The Room Next Door.
Okay.
Fernanda Torres, I'm Still Here, and Kate Winslet in Lee.
Lee,
L-E-E. Best Performance Male Actor, Drama, Motion Picture. Adrian Brody, The Brutalist.
Scan it.
Timothy Chalamet, Ding Dong, A Complete Unknown. Daniel Craig in Queer. Coleman Domingo, Sing Sing. Ralph Fiennes, Conclave. Sebastian Stan, The Apprentice.
Oh.
And... okay, I swear I'm done, but just as a fun fact, little further down the list, Sebastian Stan nominated
For
musical or comedy, A Different Man.
That's very high. I really want to check that one out.
My boy Bucky Barnes has aged quite well. I have to say, his IMDb page, he's been in some good projects since.
I'm like a total, you know me, I'm a total Mark Maron stan. I listened to everything.
I listened to that whole thing when you told me about it.
His Sebastian Stan interview was dynamite. It was really good.
That was a fantastic interview.
Yeah. Sometimes you just like have no idea like how someone has like grown up or lived in, and just like listening to him kind of, like this is just my circumstance, and I was like, dude, you deserve every bit of success that you have.
And also, I was a devout Winter Soldier fan of the MCU. I've never heard him get that personal in any interview ever. Granted, but I think maybe just Mark Maron is
Mark's
that guy.
good for that. He's super good for that.
It's so funny, dude. After I listened to that, I listened to Mark Maron and Anthony Jeselnik because Jeselnik was. You might have told me about it. That was a good one. I watched this next special, and then I realized I hadn't watched Mark Maron's most recent special, so I've been watching that.
Oh, nice.
From Bleak to Dark, 2023. It's on Crave/HBO. And I recommend that as well. The only other thing I have on my list that it kind of bleeds in is there was some news that broke yesterday that Chris Evans, Tom Holland, Anthony Mackie, RDJ all returning for Avengers Doomsday.
Fucking Loki and
take
these
long.
variants.
Yeah. No. The prevailing fan theory, which I really want to believe is true, is they don't bring Cap back for like a beat the bad guy moment. Hopefully it's because Anthony Mackie will be playing Captain America in Avengers Doomsday. So my hope is it's present day. Who's the character name? Chris Evans, what's his actual name? Steve Rogers.
Steve Rogers.
Present day old man Steve Rogers gives him like a little pick me up speech when they're down and beaten or something. I don't want to see Chris Evans de-aged back to normal, suited up as Cap.
I think it'd be funnier if they just said it was Steve Rogers, old man, and it's just Joe Biden.
That's funny.
That would be. Yeah. No, I don't know. I saw with all the stuff with Steve or Chris Evans and whatnot.
Yeah.
Again, the rumor mill of it immediately just cuts back to what's Doom gonna be. I saw a really interesting theory, and I hope it's not. Well, actually, if it was the case, it wouldn't be too bad. Of saying how Tony Stark is actually the one-off variant of Doctor Doom. So our Tony Stark is the only so in every other universe it's all Doctor Doom.
That's a good one.
I was like, that's not too bad, if they play around with stuff like that. But
I like that one.
Yeah, but and I think today or just earlier, I think Sony. I don't know if Sony made an official announcement or if it was leaked and it's soon to be announced. But after Kraven the Hunter, they're doing no more side projects like Spider-Man.
Really?
They're because they own all the Spider-Man IP stuff.
Yeah,
and apparently it's just going to be focused on Spider-Man going forward.
There's a I just can't remember his name. Rich Roll, Rick something, not Rick Roll. There's a guy on YouTube who has one of these aesthetic podcasts, highly produced, looks very good. Tom Holland did this big interview with him where he got very candid about his alcoholism and dealing with fame and all this stuff. And he was super open about when I signed my contract to be Spider-Man, I signed a 6-picture deal. And I've technically fulfilled that because he's appeared in so many offshoots and whatnot. So he just said, I am at a point, and it's a little weird for me, but I do hold all the power in these negotiations with both Marvel and Sony. I don't have to do another Spider-Man movie if I don't want to. And he's been very upfront about, if we did it, I want it to be not just to do it, not just to make a movie, not just to X to Y. That kid is really punching above his weight for how old and absurdly mature it is. For him to be sober already, just after a little, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Very interesting kid to listen speak. Not a kid, he's a man at this point, but very interesting guy to listen talk about fame and the responsibility and all that. And one thing he said is I feel like RDJ brought me into the universe as the veteran, and it really gave me a shot with their movie. And I'd really like nothing more to do that with a Miles Morales story.
I think that should be their move. Personally, I think they could use some Miles Morales.
And if he's saying that's what he wants, and in the same conversation he's saying he holds all the power, it's if you're Tom, just be like, hey, I won't do it unless you give me someone to hand it off to. Mm-hmm. Which is hilarious that he's the one who has to set that stipulation. Yeah. How have we not had a character Miles Morales story yet? We've had 3 fucking Spider-Man.
Well, there's the Spider-Verse stuff too, right? So maybe they're but I know, but maybe they don't want to double dip on the character, have brand confusion or whatever. But
God, Sony sucks. Not literally, not actually.
They're so awful.
Those movies are so good. The Spider-Verse movies are so good. Mm-hmm. But it's this fucking Venom movie. I was they're doing a 3rd. Who's seeing this crap? Anyway,
they make money though. This one didn't as much, mind you, but
is the 3rd already out?
Came out a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, good. Let it go quietly into that good night. Okay, I think this was fun. Are we good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, thank you very much for listening. If you heard any of this, thank you for listening. Subscribe to the podcast. We're making moves, goddammit. We're on Spotify, Apple Music. I don't think there's video on Apple Music. If there is, we haven't figured it out yet. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Part-Time Otaku Podcast. Thank you for listening. We're typically bi-weekly. We're going to see if we can squeeze one more in before Christmas. If not, happy holidays, happy new year, all that jazz. But we will talk to you soon. Thank you again for listening. Grant, go ahead and say anything.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.